Have you ever wondered why some souls seem marked from birth quiet, yet set apart? Padre Pio once said, "Not all are chosen, but those who are carry something divine." But what is this hidden mark? Why do only the truest chosen ones receive it? There's a sacred sign you won't find in any book or church sermon. It doesn't show on your skin, but heaven sees it, and so do the dark forces. This mark is not a blessing for comfort. It's a calling for battle. A spiritual responsibility etched not in flesh, but in suffering, vision, and silence. And if you feel things others can't explain, you may already bear it. Stay with me, because once you understand this, you'll never see your struggles the same. This is not just about Padre Pio's vision, it's about your soul's secret assignment. Her name was Elena. She lived in a small village nestled between the mountains of southern Italy. Quiet, withdrawn. But everyone who met her said the same thing. There was something about her presence. Not beauty, not charm, but a weight, a softness, a silence that almost whispered. At age 7, she started having visions of fire, crosses, and distant bells. She told her mother once, "He's coming again, the man with the wound in his hands." They thought it was just childhood imagination until her health began to fail. Doctors found nothing wrong, but she trembled at night. She wept without reason. By age 12, she refused to speak. She would sit still for hours, staring into the void. Then, one day, during confession, she collapsed at the priest's feet. When she woke, she whispered, "Padre Pio said I'm marked." No one believed her. No one except an old nun who had once served in San Giovanni Rotondo. She held Elena's hand and said, "Child, Padre Pio spoke of those who carry unseen wounds, not of the body, but of the soul. They are the chosen ones, and their lives are not their own." From that day on, strange things happened. She predicted her grandfather's passing to the hour. She would whisper prayers that made people cry without knowing why. Birds would follow her. Streetlights would flicker when she walked under them. But none of it made her proud. In fact, she often begged, "Why me? Why this mark?" Because the divine chooses in silence, and those chosen suffer in secret until they awaken to what they truly carry. And when they do, nothing around them stays the same. Elena's story is not isolated. Around the world, there are others quiet ones who carry something they can't name. They sense things before they happen, they feel pain that isn't theirs, they weep during sacred music without knowing why, and they often suffer deeply without reason. This is the spiritual mark Padre Pio spoke of. Not a symbol on the skin, but a divine frequency only heaven and the unseen realms can detect. It marks a soul that agreed long before birth to serve as a vessel for something greater. But here's the secret. This mark cannot be earned. It must be remembered. The path to remembrance is not glorious. It begins in loss, isolation, strange sicknesses, rejection by family, even a deep feeling of "I don't belong here." That's not a curse, it's the signal. Because once a soul remembers, it begins to burn. And when it burns, everything false around it begins to fall apart. That's when the spiritual trials intensify. And just before the breakthrough comes the collapse. Most give up here. But the chosen they truly see the collapse as a doorway. Because Padre Pio revealed something very few understand, only those who survive this sacred fire emerge ready. Throughout history, mystics and saints have spoken of hidden ones. In the Bible, the book of Revelation refers to 144, 0 sealed by God chosen, for a mission few understand. Kabbalistic teachings speak of the Tzaddikim Nistarim, 36 hidden righteous souls sustaining the world through their silent suffering. And Padre Pio, in his letters, mentioned the soul scarred by love, those who bear the mark of inner crucifixion. But what is this mark truly? In private conversations with his spiritual children, Padre Pio often spoke of a mystical pena, suffering not caused by physical wounds, but by absorbing the sorrows of others. He once said, "Those who are chosen will feel the world bleed, and they will bleed with it." It's not a metaphor, it's a vibrational imprint. Modern mystics describe it as an energetic rupture at the level of the soul visible to the spiritual world, invisible to human eyes. It's not given to the proud or the loud, but to the silent warriors who carry light through darkness without needing to be seen. One Vatican archivist even found records of people in Padre Pio's presence suddenly collapsing in tears without knowing why. Some were later found to have spiritual dreams of wounds glowing on their chest, a divine sign, a silent assignment, a mark seen only by heaven. But how do you know if you carry this mark? That's the question no priest or book can answer directly, because it's not proven through ritual, but revealed through experience. There are signs, subtle yet undeniable. You've likely felt them, an intense pull toward silence, a strange resistance from others, even when you mean no harm, dreams that leave you shaken for days, as if you witnessed something ancient. The sense that something or someone has been guiding your life from behind a veil. But perhaps the most telling sign is this: your suffering has never been pointless. You've always felt that the pain served a purpose, and deep down, you knew it was preparing you for something. A moment, a mission, a memory waiting to rise. Padre Pio once whispered to a woman during confession, "The mark is not on your body, it is in your endurance." Those words were never recorded in official writings, but passed on quietly through generations of the faithful. Because the true chosen ones are not waiting to be seen. They're waiting to awaken. And there is one testone moment that reveals everything. And if it's already happened to you, then you already know Elena never asked to be chosen. But once she stopped running from her pain and started listening to it, everything changed. She no longer saw her visions as punishment, but as preparation. Her isolation became sanctuary. Her weakness became discernment. Her tears became prayers. That is the silent transformation Padre Pio pointed to. The divine mark does not make life easier, it makes your soul clearer. And with that clarity comes power. Not the kind that controls others, but the kind that cannot be controlled. Psychologists might call it spiritual individuation. When your soul steps into full alignment, you stop needing validation. You stop chasing people who were never meant to walk beside you. You begin to trust the pain as a compass, not a curse. And when that happens, you walk differently. People feel your energy before you speak. Animals come closer. Strangers confess things they've never told anyone. Just like Elena, who never returned to a normal life because she wasn't meant to, she became a mirror for others who carried the same invisible wound. The mark didn't go away, but now she wore it with reverence. Because once you accept the divine scar, you no longer live to survive. You live to illuminate. Some say the mark appears in dreams glowing beneath the ribs like fire. Others feel it as pressure in the chest just before waking, as if something sacred is trying to surface. But all agree on one thing: once it activates, you can never return to who you were, because your life is no longer just yours. Padre Pio believed the chosen ones are placed in families, cities, even marriages, not for comfort, but for intercession. To stand between the seen and the unseen, to carry burdens silently so others can breathe. And here's what most people miss. The mark is not activated by success or achievement. It's awakened through surrender. Through the quiet moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" If something in your life has been unraveling lately, if you felt a strange sense that you are being watched spiritually, or if your suffering suddenly feels sacred instead of senseless, you may already bear the mark Padre Pio spoke of. But this is only the beginning. There's another sign that confirms the mark. It doesn't appear in dreams or visions. It happens in real life, and when it does, it leaves no doubt. We'll reveal that in the next video. .cod. So make sure you subscribe now and turn on all notifications. Roblox. And in the comments, tell us, have you ever felt chosen, even when you didn't want to be? Have you experienced something unexplainable that left a mark on your soul? We read everything. Your story may awaken someone else. Because remember, some marks are meant to stay invisible until it's time to shine.